Let's break some characters, shall we? Hey guys, I'm Marlene and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about how to write a character's breaking points. Before we dive into those 5 tips, remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you don't miss any videos. I post writing advice videos every single Wednesday and book reviews some Fridays. Also, be sure to check out my fantasy action and adventure novel for adults, To Wear a Crown. You can get it at all online retailers, link in the description box below. Now, let's talk breaking points. I love the breaking point in a book. Don't know if that makes me a bit of a sadist or not, but I really love writing it and reading it because it's such a crucial point to me in any good plot, is that there is that breaking point, that final, give up or go on moment. So yeah, I'm very passionate about it. And so I have 5 tips for how to write a great breaking point. Tip number 1, build up to it. So if you watched my video on how to create a character arc, you'll know where I believe a breaking point should fit into the plot. You should have, your beginning, your inciting incident, your kind of rising action and your crises along the way, and then you have the breaking point, and then right after the breaking point you go to your climax. And so you can't just have a breaking point that happens out of nowhere. It should be a gradual build up of stress, frustration, and conflict. It needs to occur close to the climax of the story. When the conflict has reached a peak, there's been all of these crises, all of these defeats, all of this rising stress, and the character needs to be near their end. So show the character facing the mounting challenges, the increasing pressure, the growing tension that eventually reaches a breaking point. Tip number 2, use internal conflict. Now, in addition to the external conflict of your story, your book, which, obviously leads to the breaking point, as I said, with all the crises in your plot happening, the rising action building up to that main conflict, which is the climax. Use internal conflict as well, because that can add depth and complexity and relatability to the character's breaking points. Show the character struggling with conflicting emotions, conflicting values, conflicting desires. Create a sense of inner turmoil alongside the physical, external feeling of defeat or feeling of rock bottom. It'll make that breaking point feel so much more meaningful and significant and really make the reader feel it. Number 3, use sensory details. This is a very important piece of writing advice, which is why it's in a lot of my writing videos, and that is that using the 5 senses is so important. Sensory details can help create a vivid, immersive experience for the reader. So you use vivid imagery, sensory language, emotive language, and descriptive details to convey the character's emotions, their physical sensations, and their surroundings in a way that engages the reader completely. Your readers should feel that torment that your character is facing. Tip number 4, show the consequences of the breaking point. Now, obviously, it is a crucial plot point for a reason, because it needs to have some sort of effect, some sort of consequence and impact. So show how that breaking point impacts the plot and the other characters and that specific character's actions. Show the aftermath of this breaking point. How does it affect the character's relationships, the character's actions, the character's decisions, as well as the other characters and their arcs? In most cases, the breaking point leads to the character deciding to take a final stand, and that decision leads to the climax of the book. And that's really important to show, but I think it's also important to note exactly the impact of that breaking point on how the character is feeling and acting and what is happening around them, because it's an important point it should have important consequences. And then finally, make it relatable. A character's breaking point should feel authentic and relatable to readers. It should feel believable and real. So show the character dealing with emotions, conflicting values, inner turmoil that readers can empathize with and understand. Even if you're writing an epic fantasy and your breaking point is as a result of some big magical defeat, there are certain emotions, mental processes, conflicting feelings that humans share as a whole. Common human struggles and experiences that you can draw on to inform how your character is feeling in that moment, what they are thinking. And this will make it so much more impactful because the reader will be able to understand why this character is feeling that way and exactly how intense they are feeling it, and they'll be able to relate, which is very, very important in writing, is getting your readers to really understand what that character is going through. So yeah, those are my 5 tips for writing a character's breaking point. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell. Also remember to check out my novel To Wear a Crown. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, and BookBub. All the links are listed below, and then I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!